So after Yonkers, right? What happens?
After Yonkers, I had moved to the Bronx, and we lived in the Bronx for like a little bit of time. I got into some trouble over there, and then my mom sent me to Spain.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Now, during this time, like, what is your mom doing for work before we get into the Spain part?
I mean, my mom used to work in a clothing store in Getty Square, and then at night she used to work in a supermarket. Like she used to work 2 jobs. Like in
So
the
she
morning,
was
she worked.
working all that time, and like, who was watching you at that time?
I was basically a latchkey kid. I used to have the key with the shoestring, and I used to let myself in and out the crib, and I mean, it was different back then. Back then it used to be like, don't answer the door for nobody, don't this. It was a different. Now it's these kids is a whole different thing, but it was different back then. You know what I mean? My sisters used to be at work with my mother, and I used to be supposedly supposed to be home, but I would be running around getting into trouble.
So that's why you got into trouble.
Yeah, a
Like,
little bit.
so during that time, right? What kind of trouble were you getting yourself into, though?
I mean, I was getting into stupid stuff, like I said, with shoplifting and dumb stuff, like dumb stuff. We go to fucking what was this? We used to go to this pet store, and they used to sell spray paint in there to like paint the tanks and stuff. And we used to go in there and boost the spray paint, and then go do graffiti or dumb shit, dumb kid shit. It wasn't nothing serious. It was just mostly boosting stuff.
Right? Did you
Going to
did
see
you
'em
get caught for
get
that?
caught, huh?
Did you get caught for that?
I mean, I got caught. We got caught. They wouldn't really do nothing. They would just, they would take the stuff away, ban you from the store, stupid shit. That was like the beginning of me getting in trouble. It wasn't nothing crazy, like,
And how
just
was
dumb
your
stuff.
how was your mom though? Like as far as like punishment and stuff like that for you, like when you got in trouble.
My mom's wasn't really a big. She would just like be like, the disappointed type. Like, I'm disappointed in you on this. She wasn't. She wasn't very. I mean, there's very few times she grabbed the slipper and chased me up the block. And I mean, there's a few times, but she really tried to like give you the guilty conscience, the guilty, I'm disappointed in you. I expect better from you, and blah blah blah. That type of, the guilt trip. That was more my mom's mo.
How did that work for you?
I mean, I used to feel bad, but then as soon as the next day came, I'll go right back to doing it. I
When
mean,
you
listen, I was a troubled teen.
right. When you look at your mom, right? Because she never got remarried, did she? Or did you have a stepdad?
Nah, never. Nah,
N-
never.
So she was holding it down for you and your two siblings the whole time just by herself, right? When
Yeah.
you look at like what she was going through during that time, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel bad for her. I mean, she dedicated basically her whole life to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at it now, she never went out. She never, like, now I get why at times she probably was depressed. You know what I'm saying? Because she never had any time for herself. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't realize that till you get older. You know what I mean? Like, I never really realized that, how much she really sacrificed, till I got older. You know what I mean? Like, I realized a lot when I went to prison is when I really realized what my mom was going through. Like, you know what I mean? No matter what, she was always there every week on Sunday. Like, my mom struggled a lot, with me being incarcerated. So, I started learning how to appreciate my mother more once I got incarcerated as an adult.
Got you. And
Yeah.
I saw you say in the other interview was that like your mom decided to work two jobs, right? Because she didn't want to have you guys on welfare.
Well, her pride. My mother was a very prideful person. And I think it was more like to throw it in my dad's face, like, meaning like she didn't need no help. So I don't know. Like in a way, I kind of wish she did get help at that time because she would have been a little bit more involved with us. But it was just her pride. Her pride wouldn't let her take handouts.
Right.
You know.
You
Yeah.
know, like sometimes when we going through a lot of things, like we try to keep ourselves busy. It's almost like a trauma response. Do you think that like your mom was like doing that to like stop from thinking about what was going on in her life?
I mean, at that time, I wouldn't have thought that. But as you get older, I think the busier you are, the less you think about whatever traumas or whatever stress you got going on. Like if you're going through a breakup or you're going through hardships or anything you're going through in life, the busier you are, less time you got to think about or dwell on things. So now as an adult, I look at it like that's why she probably was always trying to stay busy because she would come from one job, pick up my sisters from school, go to the other job, come home, cook, do all the things. So it was like constant doing something. It wasn't like she had time to sit down and, do her homework with us or sit down and watch TV. It was she come home, she do the housework, and then it's time for bed. You know what I mean? Then the next day is the same thing all over. So,
Right.
you know, I just think it was like, she was depressed probably, She really had no family in this country, and her pride wouldn't let her go back to her parents in Spain, you know what I mean? Because how's she gonna show up there with three kids to her parents' house? You know what I mean? And she just my mother was very prideful, very 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 prideful.
Do you think all the trouble that you were getting into was kind of like a cry out, like for like attention?
Nah, I don't think so. Like attention from who? If nobody's there, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't
Well,
I
from
don't think
her,
so. It's
from
just
her to stop, like
nah,
no.
nah. I honestly think that I was looking maybe like you look for role models in the street. Like honestly, like that's what it is. Like the father figure is an important figure in the upbringing of kids, bro. Whether people realize it or not, especially for a man, a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Um, it's just a different thing. So you look for that role model, and sometimes the people that we pick to be our role models are not the people we should be following. We might look at the dude on the corner that got all the clothes, or the women, the drug dealers, the stick up kids. You look at them because they got the attention, the flash, or whatever. And sometimes those role models that we look at lead us into the wrong direction in life. You know what I mean?
So,
And
because
that's
you were
really what it
saying at
is.
that time you didn't have a lot of money, right? Like you couldn't afford like the gear that you wanted and everything, and you said that that's what led you into the street life. Was the
Basically, that
allure?
was it was for clothes. Me, when I started getting into things and started like boosting stuff and started getting into trouble, it was just, bro. You know how kids are fucking mean ass motherfuckers. When you going to school and you coming in there with some Buster Brown sneakers or some Olympians or some, I'm talking about. Remember, we talking about early '80s, bro. Shell tops was expensive, bro. Pumas was expensive. Actually, you know what was in style? It wasn't even the shell tops. It was the ponies.
Mm.
It was the high top ponies that was popping at the time. And bro, them things I remember them things was like probably like $60, but $60 or $50 back then. But that was a lot of money back then. It ain't
That's
like
probably
now.
like $200-300 now.
In exchange, yeah, people were getting robbed left and right for sneakers, bro. It's not even like nowadays you see people getting yapped for chains or watches or you know what I mean. Back then, people were getting robbed for sneakers, bro. For the windbreaker suits, bro. They was robbing people for all type of different clothes. We're not even talking about bombers and sheepskins. Nah, we talking about straight up sneakers. They run up in you or on you, put not in you. Pause. Run up on you, run up on you, put you in a headlock and yap your sneakers. By the time you realize it, they down the block. You can't even. You know what I mean? It was a different era, bro. It was a whole different era, bro. So.